Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
My one coworker hasn't been there all week. People say that she's on vacation, but she hasn't been booked on vacation, so I don't know what's going on with that. Probably just some kind of stress leave. My other coworker called in sick, and my other coworker that was supposed to be there today came and left because he hurt his foot. And so, yeah, it was wonderful. Very, very fun and interesting time. Very fun and interesting. We're gonna get blown the fuck up here, unfortunately. That's too bad. We don't get an energy here, it's pretty much game. They're just gonna have instant attacking, instant bullshit all the time now. We have to take care of, I mean, we have to take care of this eventually, but that doesn't make it. Well, that stops us from Dragapult damage, which is kind of good, kind of bad. Doesn't really make a difference. If we don't top deck an energy here, it's basically game anyways. Not really the energy I wanted, but I'll take it. Unfortunately. We get to take a turn. We have a turn. About it. So, because they're just immediately going to get rid of Town Store for the Rocket Stadium next turn. So we won't have access to Crystal. And then we'll just be dying to Mimic you anyways, so. But out of everything that is going to die, Bundle's probably the best, but we lose a Luminous, which really sucks. But unfortunately. Yep, saw that coming. Yep, saw that coming. Only thing they need to do now is bump the stadium, and then it's basically God turn for them, more or less. We got like a really shitty turn on this, so really shitty opening turn, I should say, on this basically. So. Well, top deck and recon determine the game here, so. It's kind of crazy that we actually got that, so. We can't damage the bench, unfortunately, but this doesn't exactly matter. I think we have to just take out the Mimikyu. Well, I mean, it's really not even that scary at the moment, to be honest. They can do 60 to us, though, which is, it kind of hurts. So how much did it do last turn? Well, this is the only thing that can attack right now. Guess we just gotta go into it. We could have put 60 on the Spidops because the Articuno doesn't protect it, but then they'd have an attacker, so. Shock is slightly helpful, but not this turn. Not this coming turn, unfortunately. Here's the Rockets Factory. Just have Ariana in hand, right? Research. Double rocket energy. And they're gonna kill Duskull, so exactly why we don't really, not really beneficial for us. I guess they retreat to Spidops here. But it's kind of good for us that they whiffed they put the max spell on that guy and not this one. That's not bad then. That's fine. They whiffed the double rocket energy, which is pretty solid. Can put that on there. They're gonna have to give up something they don't want to here. And we can put damage on the Spidops. Okay, that's fine. This, let me get that. Dragapult is prize, that's pretty cool. Mr. Mime. Not extremely useful right now, but would be funny. You and we go. Right. If they have to boss here, they have to use Giovanni, which means Dragapult is saved for the turn, so they can't attack with Mewtwo. They have to sack it. And we can blow up Articuno next turn to remove that, so that's also fine. Ah yes, Clefairy, because Team Rockets plays Clefairy randomly now. Certainly does. Clefairy's also not protected by Articuno, so thanks for the 4 prizes, I guess. Now you can't retreat Mewtwo. Unless you play a bunch of really ridiculous stuff you probably shouldn't play in this deck. So, I mean, that's fine. Right. You have E-Switch? I guess. Yeah, of course you do. Shocking. All right. 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 Wait, did he not have to discard energy on that? Why didn't he discard energy there? Oh, right, because it's... Right, the Clefairy is the extra damage, never mind. Right, never mind. Guess we Drakloak here. I mean, Arven doesn't exactly help me immediately, but it can, actually. So what can that do? Arven can get us rare candy. Yeah. We can dust more. I mean, I guess this is a YOLO turn. We have to get some. We have to get the Dragapult off of prizes here, so. Essentially. And strand something in the active. Right. Well, that doesn't exactly help me. We just chance Drakloak draws next turn here now, I guess. Best of luck here, friend. Mimikyu doesn't do anything. Clefairy can't attack right now. Articuno can't do anything. So. Yeah, Giovanni doesn't do anything here for you. We can still counter catch something next turn. I guess the Tarantula, we got to take out the Tarantula. Because that's going to be the thing that can attack next turn. Although we iron them down to 1 here if they don't use the Giovanni yet, so. Graffiti Sweet Pea. Does Team Rocket Energy work on Mewtwo? It works on Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Anything with a Team Rocket's Pokemon on it, yes. So these 3 Team Rocket's Energy would work on. Except this doesn't use Psychic or Dark Energy, so it wouldn't really work. So. Made the mistake of getting a milkshake before bed. Let's go. I mean, you still can't attack with that, so. Unless I put out a Dragapult, so. That's fine. And then if they boss up a Dreepy to attack with that, that's probably the best spot. But I mean, they want to attack with that guy, so we counter catch that up to attack it. Okay, that's actually big. We definitely just take this out instantly. We have a Psychic Energy, which we don't. That's kind of Monka. Okay. That's better, actually. So we can grab a Drakloak here first. Really wish that we had a Psychic Energy in the discard pile. Well, we got the Psychic Energy, so that's fine. Do we even bother with the Dragapult? I guess not, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter because it can't kill the Dragapult anyways. As we put it back in the deck. Or do we... I mean, we just attack with... Do we have any Night Stretchers do we have left? That's a question. We have one left. Yeah. All right, well, that doesn't really matter, so that's fine. The Ultra Ball gets this Pult. All right. Right, because if they attack with Mimikyu, they're killing us with Clefairy, so yeah, we just don't even bother putting Pult out this turn. Yeah, we don't put a Terra down. And then next turn we Ultra Ball for Dragapult, and that'll be game. Because they can't do anything here now. They have no viable attacker. Gemstone Mimicry doesn't copy anything. Because there's no Terra Pokemon in play that they can copy. There's no Terra Pokemon in the active slot to copy. So putting down Dragapult here actually would be a losing play. So they can't attack with Clefairy. They can't attack with Articuno. Yeah, GG's. Oh, we got there. That's crazy. All right, we got the Jacques. And we get the Arven. Yeah, that was actually really close. Oh boy. Right, we didn't take it with the Night Stretcher. It doesn't matter though. The Bolt anyways. It was smart to leave that in there. As the just in case. All right, we'll take it. $200. Thank you very much for coming out. There's our last Pult was the absolute last prize. Insane. Actually insane prizing. I mean, that was okay. So this felt really fucking good. Again, like we Brick City and we end up coming back. This is what I was talking about yesterday about how like when I'm testing on live, I don't generally take testing results on TCG Live seriously. What I look for is how the deck feels, if I'm getting the combinations that I want to do, and if the combinations feel good. I look for synergy between the supporters and the trainers and stuff that I'm trying to do, and like the stadiums and stuff. And I look to see if the deck can fight through a brick. Like if it gets bricked and my opponent gets everything that they want to do, can I still win the game with that deck by some grace of Arceus? So that's what I look for, because Gardevoir, no matter how, like, I mean, the game has to really super duper give you the absolute nonsense for Gardevoir to not have a chance to win, because Gardevoir always feels like it has a chance to win regardless of how badly you brick on it. This deck is like, it's actually getting to that point now. It's getting to the point where it doesn't matter how bad my start is. It feels like there's enough in this deck to get it beyond that and give me a chance to win. Now, we did kind of get very lucky, so I want to take a look at this real quick. So this is possibly the worst start that we could have in this deck. We have just a solo Iron Bundle, no backup Pokemon. Basically, that's it. Like we have like the worst possible start that this deck can have. Not very good. Like literally the card that we want to have on the bench, we have it in the active. We have to commit an energy to it, and the energy that we get is literally another one of the worst Pokemon, one of the worst that you can get. So again, everything went wrong for this deck from the very start, and our opponent had a fairly decent start to their game. So we'll take a look here. So they get to go first. They've decided to go first. So they won the coin toss. They've decided to go first because they can play Proton in their first turn. So Team Rocket's Mimikyu, already a bad start for us because we are playing Dragapult, so Gemstone Mimicry just copies Dragapult and does all sorts of nonsense for us, unfortunately. And then they put Mewtwo to the bench, so already not a great start for us. Even worse now that they've played Team Rocket's Proton to start the game, like on their first turn, because you can play it on your first turn. So very, very bad start for us. So all of a sudden, we're staring down a board that Mewtwo can attack. Tarantula is going to be evolved next turn, and we're in a very bad fucking position at this point, right? Because now they've placed down Articuno, which completely counters Dragapult, placing damage counters on basic Pokemon. So we just don't have an answer here. They've discarded a grass energy, they've grabbed 2, so now they have the attach to the Tarantula the following turn if they evolve. They have the attach from the discard pile, so then they have the attach for the retreat. They don't even need to retreat. They don't even need to attach because they have a free retreater in the active. So again, this is a god start for the Mewtwo deck, for the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Like, this is literal god start, and we got peanuts. We got the absolute worst start that we could possibly have. So let's take a look. All right, so we needed to top deck an energy. We needed to top deck an energy here to have a chance to survive. And again, we top deck the worst possible energy. And the reason it's the worst possible energy is because this is not retrievable. I can't go and night stretcher this back in if I need it. We lose a luminous energy to a Pokemon that can't even use it. Like, we use it on this Hyper Blower, just like, it's so useless. We have to like retreat it. It's so bad. So we Buddy Poff, and at least we get the Buddy Poff, and we have the Town Store in hand. So we have the Dreepy. So we at least give ourselves a chance here by getting a TM Evo with Town Store. We had literally nothing in hand. Like, we basically had nothing in hand. So we go from nothing to at least getting 2 Drakloaks down with the Iron Bundle. We drew the energy. So like, we gave ourselves a chance to do something here. So we get the TM Evo. We notice that Sparkling Crystal's in the deck, so that's good as well. We can start planning for that. We go ahead and evolve both of those to Drakloaks, no problem. So our opponent, continuing the ridiculously lucky surge here, they just happen to have, without searching for it, Giovanni in hand. So they go ahead and Giovanni our Drakloak up. So now we are instantly losing one of our Drakloaks instead of the expendable Iron Bundle that we had. Now we're just instantly losing we're just losing a Drakloak, and they're instantly promoting the Tarantula. So they're going to evolve into Spidops instantly here. It's just so bad. So they get Maximum Belt, which again, this doesn't really matter too much because they're going to be swinging for big damage anyways, regardless of what happens here. We find that out later. So they take Maximum Belt. They don't use it though, so they don't attach it to anything, which doesn't really matter. They just go ahead and knock out for 150. So Drakloak is knocked out. So we have to put Drakloak in the active spot because we have to have a response. If we don't get Dragapult out and attacking this turn, we're basically cooked. We're basically fucked. So we know that we can at least go out and grab Crystal. So if we can get a Dragapult out, we can and we get an energy on Drakloak, we can at least have an attack in response, and then pray that something doesn't come up. We're riding the rails here. Like, our opponent is in full control at the moment. Our opponent is just full fucking crazy ass setup. We have no response in the fucking world right now. This is just so terrible for us. So Recon Directive at least gets us a Duskull. We have Dusclops in hand. We've had Dusclops in hand since the start of the game, so we can at least get a Duskull down. Town Store gets us Crystal because we top decked Arven. I believe we had Dragapult. I believe we had Dragapult in hand at that point in time as well. So we knew that we had Dragapult, so we get the Drakloaks out, Dragapult's in hand, we get Crystal. We know now that we can grab the energy with Arven because of Energy Search. We get the experience share, so we're retaining that energy that we grab as well because now we can Night Stretcher the Dreepy back in as well. So now we're starting to kind of at least build some contingency for our next turn. So we get the Phantom Dive here, right? So we get the Dreepy with the experience share. So at least if Dragapult does get knocked out the following turn, Dreepy's going to retain the energy. We get to start building our board a little bit more here. So go ahead and attach experience share. This is why this is really like Town Store is so important in this list right now, because we could grab Crystal or we could grab experience share, right? That could turn out to be a turn that we lose Dragapult. If we don't have Town Store, we just get Crystal, and we don't have experience share. We're right back to square one. We're fishing for energies. We have to buy turns, all this stuff. We don't have that time. So having Town Store and Arven just guarantees us the two tool cards that we need, right? We get the crystal, we get the experience share, same turn, no problem, instantly set up, right? So we get the Dreepy down, experience share goes on to that. We go ahead and we Phantom Dive into the Spidops. So now we're going to make things a little bit difficult for them. Unfortunately, they only had one Spidops on the field, so we had no other target for the 60 damage to go to. The Repelling Veil is going to block all of the damage counter placements on the basic Pokemon. We already knew that. Not really a big surprise. So we get Jacques, which is going to be helpful. Jacques is going to be helpful in a turn here. But now we're in danger of Gemstone Mimicry being a problem, right? So if our opponent gets a double Rocket's Energy, they can copy our Phantom Dive, which means it's going to be big trouble for Dragapult because they play additional tech in this deck that is not necessarily great, but they do it anyways. So they were going to research this hand, so they have maximum belt in hand, so they kind of get punished for picking this up early because they could have used this on a different Pokemon. So they have to attach it to Mimikyu just in case that they can get their attack off, but not the backup thing that they were looking for. So we don't find this out until later. So they research here. Interestingly enough, they throw away a Mewtwo. That was very confusing. Because not having a bunch of Rockets Pokemon means that Mewtwo can't attack, but just having additional Mewtwo's means that Rockets can attack. So Rockets Mewtwo can attack. So I don't know why they threw that away. But anyways, because they had bench space for it. They had bench space for 2 more Pokemon, so that was a bit confusing. But they go ahead and evolve to Spidops on the bench after the research. They Vessel to get more energies, of course. So they charge up, they attach. So they whiffed the Rockets energy here. 0! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in Zero and everybody coming over from Zero's channel. I'll give you a shout out here in a moment. We're just reviewing this victory that we had. Very close game, very interesting game. So Earthen Vessel, again, just gets them everything that they want here. The only thing that they missed off of this was the double Rocket Energy. The Team Rocket Energy, they missed it. So they didn't have the attack that they wanted to. So they instead pivoted to going into the attack with Spidops. Which is very fortunate for us because it means that Dragapult's not getting one shot by any sort of magical trickery that they can do here. That's good for me. Instead, we're getting a bunch of damage taken and put on us by Spidops here. They retreat to the Mimikyu, and then they go 120 damage with Rocket Spidops onto the active Dragapult. So, how do we have a response here? I mean, Team Rocket's Venture Bomb is funny, but also risky. We don't exactly have a way of taking advantage of it right now either because of that, because of the Articuno on the bench. So not really a play for Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. This is a card that I eventually will be using, and it will be funny when I get to use it. But today is not that day, unfortunately. So manually evolve the Dusclops on the bench there. And now we can Hyper Blower, right? Now we can go Hyper Blower to force them to bring up a Pokemon because we know that Spidops is not hitting enough in Dragapult to take Dragapult out right away, right? That's one thing. So Spidops, if they retreat to Spidops to get an attack off here, we know that Dragapult should be able to survive even if they get more Rockets Pokemon down. It cannot reach 320. So by putting up Mewtwo, there's 2 things that are going to happen here. We get to put 200 damage onto Mewtwo, right? Which sets up a future KO regardless of where this is on the board. And on top of that, they have to either find a way to attack with Erasure Ball next turn, or they have to retreat because it's one of the 2 ways. So if they play Giovanni's, they're going to have to grab something else and save the Dragapult from damage to retreat the Mewtwo, or they're going to have to find a way to have an attack with Mewtwo this turn. So we go ahead and play Jacques and guarantee ourselves a Dusknoir for the following turn. We get a Drakloak, evolve the Dreepy to Drakloak. We recon, get some more Pokemon down, this is actually important too. So we get another Dreepy down, we get another Duskull down. So this is going to be important for later. We get the damage on the Mewtwo. And now, because Spidops is on the bench, we can actually place 6 damage counters onto Spidops. Fantastic, because Articuno's only protecting basics, because Spidops is a stage 1. It doesn't have that protection anymore, so we actually have a place for the damage counters to go. So again, they go crazy on this turn. They Nest Ball for Clefairy, which is incredibly annoying because Clefairy now boosts Mewtwo's damage by double because it's making Dragapult weak to Psychic, which is weak to Mewtwo now. They go ahead and play Team Rocket's Ariana, which is weird for one card, but I guess if they want to get the extra draw off of Team Rocket's factory, they end up getting the Team Rocket's energy this time. So now Mewtwo's one card away from attacking. They go ahead and charge up again on Spidops because they run Energy Switch in the deck. So again, I don't know if these cards are really actually supposed to be in here, but like the Clefairy, all that stuff, seems like an interesting tech. Seems like an overreach though, because if we end up getting a Dragapult, right? Because if they knock out Dragapult, we retain that energy. We get the opposite. We get the opposite energy needed, and we get Dragapult. We have Dusknoir in hand, so all of a sudden we can Dusknoir the Clefairy, and we can take a 4-prize turn between knocking out Mewtwo and Clefairy, right? So it's kind of a dangerous thing because Clefairy's not protected by Articuno the same way that the other Rockets Pokemon are protected by Articuno. So playing Clefairy in this list just for the sake of going after Dragapult's a little bit of an overcook, I think, because Mewtwo can definitely get there in damage, depending on certain things as well. I mean, we already had 120 damage on us anyways, so just by discarding a single energy, Mewtwo is already doing 220, which is more than enough to KO our Dragapult. So I think like putting down the Clefairy is a little bit of an overcook. That's a bit of a liability that they probably shouldn't be willingly putting out there, is what I will say. I mean, it's an interesting idea because it gives us weakness and they don't have to discard the energy, but I don't think it's necessary in this particular list, especially considering now that they have Clefairy on the bench, right? When they play Ariana, they don't have nothing but Team Rocket's Pokemon, so they can only draw to 5. If they had not put Clefairy down, they could have drawn to 8, right? So again, it works against what the deck is trying to do. So I don't think Clefairy is like, while it's an interesting tech, I don't think it's useful. I know why it's there though. It's gonna be talked about in a little bit though. So we go ahead and put Dusclops into the active slots. We know we have we know we have Dusknoir, so we're gonna have that free retreat cost anyways. So we're gonna see what we can get off of these next couple of prizes, because we're gonna lose the Dragapult. See if we can get a second Dragapult set up here. So we draw a second Dusknoir, which is very good. So we recon Directive, and that gives us Arven, which is also very, very good. And so now we have an interesting play because we have 2 Dusknoirs and they have 3 prizes left, right? So we can give up 2 prizes here. We can take out Mewtwo and we can take out Spidops, the only 2 viable attacking Pokemon right now, because there's no Terra Pokemon. It means that Mimikyu cannot copy any attacks. So they have no viable attacker if we take out Mewtwo and we take out Spidops, and they have no way of getting another viable attacker out. So we're gonna kind of gamble here and see what we can get off of prizes, because we know our second Dragapult is prized. So we go after Mewtwo. Rocket's Mewtwo gets knocked out, 130. The reason that we went after the Spidops instead of the Rocket's Articuno, because we had no way of knocking out the Spidops in the same manner. So because if we could have actually, we might have actually been able, no, because we needed 4 prizes, right? I think we needed 4 prizes to win at that point. Yeah, because we were behind. We had only taken 1 prize. So this was gonna put us down to 2 prizes, right? So even if we took 3 prizes, we'd be down to a single prize, because we still had a counter catcher play afterwards. So yeah, so we go ahead and we get Iono for the following turn, which is great. Counter catcher, which was great. We had a counter catcher anyways, which was awesome. So now we can play counter catcher here to drag up Articuno. Reason being is because now they're going to have to attach to retreat this. They don't have an easy pivot because they promoted something. What did they promote? I don't remember. They promoted Spidops to the active slot, right? So we want to take away their control of what they're going to be able to attack with here, right? So basically, we might, well, no, because that would be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous for a reason that I'll say in a second here. So Articuno is now in the active spot. We had to do it this way. Cursed Blast, go after the Spidops, because if the Spidops was on the bench, it only had 60 damage on it. We would only reach 120. We wouldn't be able to take out all the things that we needed to, and we needed to take out, if we wanted to go after Clefairy, we needed to take out Articuno. So we would have had to commit damage to Articuno, and there's not really an easy way that we could have taken out everything that we wanted to. Not that it would have mattered, because they had a single prize left and an ace up their sleeve, right? Which I'll say here in a moment. Let's see. So we get the Nest Ball, we get the Drakloak, and we end our turn here because we have nothing else that we want to do. Drakloak, unfortunately, what we wanted to do was get the energy for Dragon Headbutt because we had the second counter catcher, but we didn't get there, unfortunately. So they Rocket's Transceiver, they grab themselves Giovanni, they put down a Tarantula, and then they put down Team Rocket's energy on the Mimikyu. So here's where the problem lies, right? We would have lost the game if I evolved to Dragapult this turn. If I evolved to Dragapult this turn and I knocked out 3 of their Pokemon, because I took out Mewtwo, if I took all those prizes and went down to I'm trying to think. If I went down to that, I might have actually had a play to clear out the game, I think. No, I had 5 prizes, right? So I had taken out that one, so I was at 5. If I take 4 prizes there, it doesn't matter because I go down to 1. Right, I was left with, yeah, so we did it correctly. Anyways, I'll have to go back and look at it again. But basically my entire thought process here, what I'm trying to explain, is that if I knocked out Mimikyu last turn, if they Night Stretcher Mimikyu, and they get the Team Rocket's energy down, and then they use the Giovanni that they had in their hand, they pull up something else. I guess that wouldn't have worked. Maybe could have played it differently. My worry was that they were going to get Mimikyu into the active and then use Phantom Dive for 400. That was my mistake. Or that was my worry about that particular point. So we go ahead and counter catcher the Tarantula, which is the only thing that we're worried about. Yeah, we had 2 prizes left. Yeah, we had 2 prizes, so that was the correct move, was to starve out the attacks on the Mimikyu. I was trying to remember the board state, but yes, at this point we had 2 prizes left. This was our second last prize, and then we had 1 more prize to take after that, right? So counter catcher up the Tarantula, because this is the only thing that's going to be viably attacking in the future here. They've already attached return, so Recon Directive gets us our second Night Stretcher, which is what we needed. We needed to have that insurance. So Night Stretcher gets us a second Drakloak. We evolve to Drakloak. Recon Directive gets us the Psychic Energy that we were needing to have the attack off, which was important. Otherwise, we would have had to use the Night Stretcher to put Dragapult and then have Jet Headbutt, which would not have been ideal. We would have lost the game off of that. So Night Stretcher gets another Drakloak to hand, evolve Dreepy to Drakloak. Then we play Iono before we Recon Directive for the last time, put them down to 1 prize. We draw 2 energies, which we've already attached return, so that wasn't exactly great. Recon Directive gets us Ultra Balls. So now, because we know, well, Dragapult is in the discard pile, and if there's another Pokemon that we could use, we now have Ultra Ball in hand. So we have a guaranteed way to get a Pokemon next turn if we need it somehow. But we Dragon Headbutt, leaving no Pokemon available for them to copy and attack off of with Mimikyu, because Gemstone only works on Terra Pokemon. So had we evolved to Dragapult this turn, they could have simply Gemstone Mimic Reed, used Phantom Dive, and that would have been game over, because they would have done 400 damage because of weakness. We didn't get rid of the Clefairy yet. Been 400 damage due to weakness. Dragapult's knocked out. So we had to make sure we took the attack with Drakloak, take the KO with Drakloak, and then threaten the Mimikyu, because they put this up for the free retreat. They have no viable attack because they have Clefairy, they have Mimikyu, they have Articuno. Only Mimikyu has the Team Rocket's energy on it, and Articuno is not even close to being able to do anything sort of attacking, and there's no counter gameplay, no anything like that. So they retreat into the Articuno. which at that point is game because we draw Night Stretcher. This right here is game because we Night Stretcher the Dragapult out. We just recon directive to see what could have been, like what fates could have brought us here. So we get Colress, we get Jacques, we get Arven. Jacques doesn't get us anything because the second Dragapult was prized. Night Stretcher gets us the Dragapult, and then we evolve there and then take the knockout, which is our last prize. So very, very close game. I don't think I could have done anything differently there to finish that game off sooner, but like we literally scraped from nothing back into this game, and that's a lot of strength because of how streamlined we've made this list. Where we don't play Pheasantipity anymore. We've taken out Blood Moon or Saluna. So while Blood Moon may have gotten us there at the end of the game, and protected us against Mimikyu, it also was a big liability in itself. But we didn't need it, and you don't need it when you just have a production line of streamline your production of Dragapults, streamline your ability to get their energies, do exactly what you want to do. Just narrow that line down and just focus on that, and then keep your tech to a minimum, and you have your consistent Pokemon line, and then you get to it even through bricking really badly like we did in this game. We bricked pretty fucking bad in this game, and we managed to outperform someone who got their entire board set up very early on and established themselves very, very early. And basically one TM Evo turned the game on its head entirely, right? Because we TM Evo'd once, we got the Drakloak out, and then we got the Dusclops down, and then the next turn Dusknoir, and then Rare Candy Dusknoir. So the two Dusknoirs turned the game around for me by taking out two of their big attackers, giving me a chance to kind of catch my breath and come back, and not playing the Dragapult to take that other knockout on the Tarantula. Basically secured game for us at that point, because we had nothing we could do against Articuno, nothing we could do into Mimikyu with the Dragapult, especially when they ran Clefairy. So they run the Clefairy because the Mimikyu can copy Phantom Dive for a single Rocket's energy and do 400 to Dragapult and really punish this deck. But I think we actually played around it extremely well, which this actually bodes well for me in, like, because I haven't faced Gardevoir yet with this list, but considering that's like basically the same play but with Mew, and with the double Dusknoirs and stuff like that, it's nice to know. I mean, unfortunately, we would still lose to Gardevoir in that situation because Gardy could then just power itself up and then blow us up. But it's nice to know that we have the option to kind of sidestep these things in this deck, because like that's an important thing too, is being able to play around stuff like Gardevoir, like playing around stuff like Clefairy, because Clefairy obviously powered up the Mewtwo and powers up the Mimikyu in this deck extremely high. So not being able to take out Mimikyu because of the Articuno and its ability, very tough. It forces us to have to take a more linear approach to the game, and we ended up finding a very creative way to get around that puzzle that we were locked into. So kudos to my opponent. They got a lot of help from the deck shuffler on that one, and we definitely got our heads kicked in by the deck shuffler, but strength of the list is pulling through here, so pretty darn good. I'm very happy with how this is turning out so far. This small test of things is turning out quite nicely, so I'll see more of it soon.